Alright guys, I'm doing a holster on a Sig Sauer M18. So what I'm doing is I ordered this special print that this guy wanted particularly, and he wanted to say, he said make it look real cool, order something that's with skulls or something that'll match the M18 color. So this is a FDE coyote brownish, same color. They're like a touch of a shade different from each other, and I think it's going to look really good, and that's why I'm making a video on doing it. And I'm going to take you through the stages, not exactly how to do it, just take you through the stages, then show you the finished product. You're going to be hearing a lot of noise because it's fucking Saturday and our houses are so close together. You can smell the guy's BO, okay? It's just the way it is. It's Saturday, everybody's dicking around outside, so you're going to be hearing stuff, people, dogs, all kinds of shit. Probably sirens and trains too. So let's get the heat press up to 380 degrees. And it's at, that's where I put it. It's at 359 right now. Now I'm going to make sure my vacuum press don't have any dust or dirt. Make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure there's no crumbs or anything to make it lose any vacuum. So I got to do that, and then I got to go get the molds and find the molds and all that. Now, so the Sig M18 and the M17, it's just a special Sig that has the red dot. You can put a red dot on it. It has a nicer trigger. Some of them have a thumb safety. It's like a special edition Sig, like a military type style gun. So what I do is when I do an M17 or the M18, I don't know whether the guy has some thumb safety or not, so I just automatically block out for it. So if you have one, it's all clear. If you don't have one, it's blocked out for it. You can't even tell, doesn't make it any less comfortable, so I just automatically do it. So when I make a holster, most of the time 8x8 is plenty big enough for pretty much almost any size gun. Unless the gun is enormous, like has like a 6-inch barrel or something, but most guns have like 4-inch barrels, 5¼ inch barrels, and as long as it's around there, an 8x8 will work. So I got my pattern all marked out here, and this I have left over, and this I have left over. I will keep because they're mag pouches right there. So if anyone wanted a mag pouch in that pattern, now I can do it. I'll put it with the scrap. So this is a 12x12, so I cut an 8x8 because they didn't have 8x8s, they only have 12x12. So, but I think you get more out of it because you get some scrap out of it that you can use later for the money anyway. So I'm going to cut this out, and I got my shit all ready over there. I got my little dome mold. This is so it follows the shape of the body. You can see it's shaped like a half moon. And I keep it taped together because sometimes they want to spread apart when you pull the rubber down on it. So we got the press up to 390, and I'm ready to go. And hope I don't fuck it up. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything positioned, and you got to make sure with this heat press that the groove around the edge has a perfectly gapped edge all the way around, because if you do not, it will not have proper vacuum and you won't get the definition you want. It won't hold vacuum. Okay, so we're good there. I've had this press a long time, and yeah, it works great. It's my favorite. It's the kind with the magnets. It's real easy to change the diaphragm if it breaks. When the diaphragm breaks, I get very upset because they're 60 bucks every time, plus fucking shipping. So they're 60 bucks every time you break one. I've broke many because you have to watch sharp edges. So this is what I'll do. Here's a P320 M18 Sig Sauer mold. Pretty much it's P320, and I have this blocked out for the thumb safety in case he has a thumb safety. And I'll just pre-position it and look at it. And I'll give it a slight cant for the guy in case he wants a cant. Some people don't like a cant, so I don't make a hard cant. I make it just a slight cant. Because most people don't really like straight up and down. So if I don't know what the guy wants, I'll just put it on a slight can. So I'm probably going to place it on there like that. And what I do is, this is the back piece, it's going to be black, and I do the back first, and then I do the top. Takes a few seconds longer that way, but it comes out better. Okay, we're down to the last 10 seconds on the heat press. Now it's 5 seconds, and man, it goes quick. I'm going to hit my pedal switch, turn on the vacuum. I don't turn the vacuum off right away. I wait a while. I let it keep sucking. You know, you want a good definition. So looking at my gauge, make sure it's holding vacuum. Now I'll turn it off. Now, another thing it does, because there's a cushion under there, it leaves that bump there, and that drives me nuts. So what I do to get rid of that bump, I usually have the air conditioner on, so if it's not on, but you can't hear me, because this gets cold. It's steel, but it's still cold. So what I'll do is, I don't know if you see it, you can't see it on the camera. It has like a bump because that's the cushion sticking up. It's still soft, so I'm going to get this and put this on there and press down, and it'll make it look nice and flat and nice and flush. I want it to look factory. I don't want it to look homemade, so we want to make it look as perfect as I can. Okay, and I'll flip it around this way. It's still cool on this end, and it gives it a nice straight flat surface. And if I see anything, there's another hump here, so I'll push this way. And then I have a fan up here I turn on that blows on this. It speeds up the cooling process, especially when I have a lot of orders, because I can't sit here and wait forever for everything to cool. Now the bump is gone. It's perfectly flat and flush. It looks great. So that makes me very, very happy. So that's going to cool for a while. Maybe, I don't know, a minute, 40 seconds. No, just till it's warm. Right now it's still hot. Okay, it's like lukewarm. So all I'm going to do is release the pressure, and I don't have a valve to release air, so I just get a popsicle stick, lift it up a little, and just do that. You don't need a valve. It's cheaper just to have this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I want to make adjustable tension block, right? So I have all these little blocks made, and this one fits in there really nice. So I'll put this on now. I put this on after the bottom. Some guys put it on right away. I put it on after because I find it works better. So I'll just stick that in there, like that, as tight as I can. Nice clean lines you want, nice clean lines. The thing with the prints though, you really can't see the lines because it's print. So if it ain't super clean, you really can't even notice it. If it was just all black, you can see every line, but whatever. Okay, so now that's ready. Now we're going to put the top piece on. So I'm going to get my print, 8x8, and make sure I look at it first. What direction should I go? I think it should go on this direction. So I'm going to flip it over in the press and be back in a minute. Okay, last 6 seconds ticking down. Turn on my vacuum. Looks good, everything's even, no wrinkles. In the beginning, have fun. You have to figure that out yourself. Have fun with the wrinkles. Okay, let it suck for a while. Okay, got my fan on up here to cool it down more, easier, whatever. And we're going to let that cool. And then it'll be cooling for about 60 seconds. then we can actually start making the holster. When I used to do this before, when I was first learning how to do it, I would get wrinkles here. I would always get a wrinkle on the side. Trust me, I was like going nuts. It was really frustrating. You know, I was getting a lot of wrinkles, and I don't get them anymore because I learned a lot. I had to teach myself a lot, because a lot of the how-to-do video holsters, you know, how to make videos, they show you how to make the holster, but they don't show you how to troubleshoot. Not that I've seen, because I looked for it. How do you troubleshoot when you get wrinkles and stuff like that? They're not going to tell you every little thing, because that's their, you know, they worked hard to try to figure it out for themselves. They're not going to let everybody, you know everything they know, which is normal, you know. But this is what's going on. So we'll let that cool, and then we'll start marking it out and cutting it. Alright, I think it's cool enough. It's good to have an air compressor too. I have a big air compressor in here. I hate listening to it because it's annoying as shit, but it's really handy because there's a lot of dust. You can help things cool down faster. You can blow dirt out of stuff. It's really great to have an air compressor. But man, I wish they would make a quiet one, because the one I have sounds like a goddamn, like 7,000 jackhammers are going off at one time. That's how loud it is, especially in the morning. So I'm going to release the pressure. Got my popsicle stick, and looks great. No wrinkles. Nice contour. Clean. Okay, now I use this roller as my spacer, and the gun's canted, so I'm not going to follow the angle of the gun. I'm going to make this level, and the gun's going to be canted and the holster's going to be straight, right? So that looks about right there. And when you have print, you want to mark real dark, because it's hard to see. And we're going to go on this side. Give yourself plenty of room. That's what I do. My biggest thing is I want to like fascinate the customer. I want them to be like, oh my god, this thing is so badass. That's what I get out of it. You know, I just made one for a guy. A 6-inch revolver. It's on my Instagram. I mean, that sucker came out pretty nice. Okay, some people like an open end, closed end. If they don't say anything, depending on how things are going, if there's a wrinkle, I'll make an open end, because I'll have to. It's not a big deal. If it's really clean, I'll leave it closed. But sometimes they'll tell me what they want. You know, I want it open, I want it closed. I think personally open's good, because if you're practicing at the range and all, and a piece of brass falls in your holster while you're drawing and all that, it just falls out of the holster. So I'll pretty much freehand that. So all I'll do now is just cut that square out on the bandsaw. Now that it's cut out on the bandsaw, I got nice straight level edges. If you cut it on the bandsaw and it's wavy, put it on the flat sander and make sure everything's nice and straight, because when you're putting it on this measuring pad and you put it on the lines, if this ain't straight and you're lining it up with the lines, doesn't mean it's going to be straight. So everything has to be at least on each side, not down here, don't worry about that. Has to be perfectly straight, so your marks are accurate, because I always go, when I start my marks, I go, here's the trigger guard, I go from the center and I go up just a hair. Just enough where the person has enough room for his hand to get in there. Right around the number 4. Even a little higher. Okay, number 4 right there. And I'll just make a mark and make sure everything's square before I go to the other side and make a mark. Okay, then I'll draw it out, and then I'll start cutting it out and all that. Okay, I got my 2 pieces all cut out and sanded and buffed out and everything. Not all the way polished yet. I'm going to do that next. I do that with some Scotch-Brite, with a little oil on the Scotch-Brite, and it seems to work really well. I used to use the buffer on the wheel, but the problem with the buffer on the wheel is you can't get into 90-degree bends with it. If you try to do that, you're going to burn the plastic. So it's better you just do it by hand, so it looks so much better. It only takes a few more minutes, but so right now it looks like this. You know, it's dry, but it's smooth. But it has to go through the next stage to get it more polished looking. So since I have so much of this shit, what I do, and it seems to work alright, I get some Scotch-Brite. I'll just spray a little bit on there, fold it in half, and you can see the edges. They're smooth, but they're not polished yet. So it's like you're sanding and lubricating at the same time. Pretty much like same principle as what do you call them things? The water jets, or when you're cutting steel, you have to use a bandsaw that shoots liquid on the blade. It's the same principle as that. So I'm just staying on the edges, and man, that looks so much better already. Only takes a minute. So I'll do that one, and then I'll do the same thing with this one. This stuff goes a long way. Is there anything you can't use ballast oil for? So I just wanted to show you guys this, because if you're waiting a few more days than usual for your holster, this is why. The whole thing's made by hand. I don't have a CNC machine and just burning these things out. I don't have that kind of money. I'm doing them the old-fashioned way, but okay, nice and smooth. Now what I'm going to do is get my clips and lay out my holes. Alright, everything looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is put the mold back in the holster. Pull that out of the way. You don't need that. And put the back on, like that. See? And then I want to clamp right there. There's my clamps. Now I got more over there. I'll clamp it in a couple spots all around. And then you'll see the silver, can you see the silver marks? The silver dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? I gotta drill all them out. So the clamp will keep the back from shifting in the front as I'm drilling. It's really hard to see anything because of the pattern, distracts your eyes. But if you flip it around, there's all the holes. All the holes are done. So what I'm going to do now is make my tapered angles, because I don't like square holsters. I think you should remove as much material as you can, so when someone bends their leg or sits down, they won't feel it as much. So I do that. I kind of rough it, because you're going to straighten it out with the sander anyway. It doesn't have to be. One side's going to be a little different anyway, because the gun's shaped this way and it's shaped a different way this way. So, as long as they're the right height with each other, it won't look stupid. So now I'll hack that off, then start putting it together with the eyelets. So I'm getting ready to put it together. There's my rubber spacer for the tension screw. And I'm going to put that on there. You want to put that in first so you're not fighting it. And I got my finish washer and my flathead screw. And there's Loctite on every single screw. And I use blue Loctite. So if someone needs to adjust it, they could still hold the back of it with a screwdriver and still turn it. But I'll adjust it to what I like it, and then they can do it what they want. So right now it's like semi together. Now I'll put all the eyelets in. It's getting here. Okay, I got my eyelets in, tension screw in, eyelets all the way around. Still rough around the edges, we're going to do that next, but now I can get an idea how the gun's going to fit, right? So here's a P320 compact, and so far, that's perfect. Oops, camera drives me nuts, guys. Clicks in real nice, and we'll see what happens, because after you put the belt loops on, could change the tension a little bit. So you got to check. It's better just to check when it's all done. I'm just doing this for the video. Alright, now let's make it look good. Belt loops, good ones. Put these in the frame here. Hate these finish washers. They always get stuck together. Alright, so finish washer, 3/8 flathead. Don't strip, you dickhead. Here it goes. Yeah, you get a lot of that to just wiggle around till the holes line up. Let it find it. There it goes. And then I call this the wrist saver. Okay, so if it's a little cockeyed after it's tight, I bend it a little, look like that's good, then really tighten it. It's pretty straight. Now let's see if the tension changed. Sometimes it does. Nah, it's good. And there it is. John, this is a holster for John Borders, M18, 6 hour. I ordered this print for him. It is complete. Black in the back. And he wants to adjust it. He's got his tension screw. I think it's perfect. Another thing I do is get a silicone rag like this one and just wipe the inside of it a little bit. If you guys have holsters at home, it's good to do that because it's good for your gun and it makes the gun slide in and out a lot nicer too. And that's it, guys. Remember, the links are under the video right here. If you guys want a holster, check out the website. I have most of the guns up there. All the pictures ain't up yet, but you know, if you just look at the other pictures and you know, it's pretty much going to look like that, you know, but your gun. So thanks for watching, and again, thanks for Patreons. I appreciate it. Have a good one.